So we're going to work on comparing fractions today. When you're comparing fractions, so far you have two boats that we're in, two different scenarios. You have one that has common denominators, so let's say we have something like this. 4/7 and 5/7. Okay, we don't want to figure out which one is greater. Well, when you see that you have the same denominator, as in this case 7, well, that just means your pizza is the same exact size and has the same exact amount of slices in it. So then you have to look to the numerator. And here's your numerator. You ate 4 slices of this pizza, 5 of this pizza. Well, which one do you eat more of? Well, you obviously eat more of this pizza because you ate 5 slices of the 7, and this one you ate 4 slices of the 7. So when you have the same denominators, you look to the numerators. And the numerator, the greater numerator, will tell you what is a greater fraction. And your other boat is now having common numerators. So, common numerators. We really need to understand what it means to have common numerators. Common numerators means that we have eaten the same amount of slices in each pizza or each pie, or used 3 in each thing, whatever you're talking about. But 3 and 3 are equal, so now we have to look at the denominators. Okay? So we have to really figure out what this means. If I have a pizza that's cut into 7 slices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or pizza cut into 5 slices, 1, 2, 3, 4, well, what do we see here? I see a slice here that's much bigger than the slice over here. So my pizza cut into 5ths has bigger slices than the pizza cut into 7ths. So what do we have to do? We have to look at our denominators and say, you know what? If I have a smaller denominator, as in 5, those slices are actually much bigger than the bigger denominator, like the 7. So if I eat 3 of the bigger slices, well, that's a bigger fraction. 3/7 is less than 3/5. I really like to use drastics, extremes when it comes to this, and talk about common numerators. If I have 1/2 of a pizza, or if I have 1/100th of a pizza, let's look at what this looks like. Before we said, the smaller the denominator, the bigger the piece. And in each case here, I ate 1 slice of each one. That's my numerator, how many slices I ate. Well, let's look at how big the slice is here when I eat half of a pizza. Look how big that slice is. That's a pretty big slice. Like, take it, look at that. That's a pretty big slice, so I'll put it right here. That's the 1 slice I ate right there. Now the 1/100th. That means I have a pizza the same size as the other one, but now this pizza is cut into 100 slices. That's my denominator, 100 slices. And I ate 1 slice. Bam, there it is. That 1 slice. All right, let's see which one's bigger. Here's that 1 slice I ate of the pizza cut into 2. Here's the 1 slice I ate of the pizza cut into 100 slices. My rule stays the same. The smaller the denominator, the bigger the piece. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the piece. So if I ate 1 of each pizza, I obviously ate more here with 1/2 of pizza because those slices were much bigger. Now, we have those two boats. We have same numerators, and we have same denominators. Common denominators, common numerators. What happens when there is nothing in common anymore? For example, 3/5 and 4/6. I don't have common numerators, I don't have common denominators. So I need to find a common denominator. The easiest way to find a common denominator is to multiply your denominators together. That's the easiest way. So 5 times 6 is 30. We think back to about equivalent fractions. How did I get from this 5 to that 30? Well, I multiplied it by 6. That's my multiplier. So now I have to multiply my numerator by 6 also, and I get 18. How did I get from the 6 to that 30? Well, I multiplied by 5. I have to multiply my numerator by 5 also, because these have to be equivalent. I have to use the same multiplier on each fraction for my new fractions to be equivalent. And now look how simple it is to look at my fractions with common denominators. All I have to do is look at my numerator. Whatever numerator is greater, that's a greater fraction. So 18/30ths is less than 20/30ths. I need to come back up to my original fractions and see that 3/5 is less than 4/6. Because don't forget, these are the same value. They look different, but they're equivalent, they are equal, they're the same value. Let's do something like that again with uncommon everything. Remember, when you're trying to compare fractions, your goal is to get, right now, common denominators. 4/5, we want to compare that to 2/8. Right now, your goal is to find common denominators. So, we're going to multiply our denominators. We're going to multiply those. My common denominator now is 40, because 5 times 8 is 40. Well, how do I get from 5 to 40? I multiply by 8. So 4 times 8 will give me 32. How do I get from 8 to 40? I multiply by 5. I have to multiply my numerator by 5. 2 times 5 is 10. I have common denominators. The best thing I can do here now is look to my numerators. Whatever numerator is greater is the greater fraction. 32/40ths is greater than 10/40ths. Come back up to my original fraction. 4/5 is greater than 2/8. So just to reiterate those steps, you always want to find common denominators. And then 2, make sure you're using equivalent fractions. That's that big word, multiplier. Make sure you're using the same multiplier. And then 3, you compare by looking at the greater numerator. There are many other ways to compare, but this is what I want you to focus on now. This is comparing with common denominators.